Well, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for joining us live. I'm going to hit record so that we make sure we capture this. I'm so grateful that you're tuning in on our Facebook page to join us for our exceptional series. So this is our Facebook Live Q&A that we have done now for a couple months, thanks to our generous sponsor, Jay Brown Realtors. I'm going to introduce Jay in just a minute, but what does it mean to be exceptional? What does it mean to be exceptional? I truly have the privilege. And by the way, if we've never met, I'm Lindsay Keisler, President and CEO of the Chamber of Catawba County. And I truly have the honor and privilege of working alongside of exceptional people, exceptional businesses in this community that go above and beyond, that really focus on people and culture, and they focus on quality, whether it's products or services. And that's what this is all about. And so we really wanted to invite businesses from our community to really shine the light on them and help you understand how they operate exceptionally. And so today I have the privilege of interviewing one of my greatest mentors and someone that I've had the privilege to work for as a past chair of our board. But Sheree Watson is the CEO of Graystone Eye. She is a chamber investor, and they generously support this organization, our pro-business agenda, but also their tentacles reach out into our community, and they're very much hands-on in our community, but also quality care for their patients. And so I'm excited for you to meet Sheree if you haven't had the chance to meet her before. But first, I do want to introduce our sponsor. And so I am so grateful that Jay Brown continues to generously give and to come alongside of us on ideas like this to bring forth and shine a light on individuals in this community. So Jay, thanks again for being our sponsor. Again, Jay Brown Realtors, and Jay's the founder. So Jay, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm excited to be back again another week, and I'm really excited to hear from Sheree at Graystone. Always good to hear just different stories and different backgrounds from different types of businesses that are around in this area. So hope you guys enjoy today, and thank you, Lindsay, again for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you again, Jay. And again, Jay Brown Realtors is our sponsor of the Exceptional Series. And actually, Jay helped us kick this whole Q&A series off when we featured small business innovators. So glad to have him on board again. So again, thank you to Jay Brown and his entire team at Jay Brown Realtors. I want to encourage you. This is live on Facebook, and I have the ability to see your comments. And so I really want to encourage you to engage with us. So if you like something that Sheree has to say, give her a heart and a like or a wow face. And actually, just so we can test to make sure our comments are coming through, why don't you drop your favorite emoji in the comments right now on Facebook? And then I'm going to make sure that I can see them. And I can. And so, all right. So thank you. Thank you so much for engaging with us. Thanks for asking questions and making comments. I also want to ask you to share this video. So we have had quite the level of engagement in these series, these interviews so far. And so we want to ensure that everyone who needs to hear what Sheree has to say does get to hear it. And so you can help us out by clicking the share button or even starting a watch party. So when you click start a watch party, your friends list on social media knows that you're watching, and they can follow along with you and join in to listen to see what Sheree has to say. So thank you in advance for doing that for us. So now I have the privilege of introducing my friend, my mentor, and someone I dearly admire, Sheree Watson. Sheree is the CEO of Graystone Eye. Sheree, thanks so much for joining me today.
You are welcome. I said, it feels like, I know how actors feel when they're trying to do a live thing now. This is weird.
Well, I'm so privileged to be able to interview you, and I can't wait for all of our viewers to see what you have to say. But Graystone Eye is quite the institution in our community. This year, celebrating 50 years, actually last year was 50 years. So over 50 years, Graystone Eye's mission has been to preserve the gift of sight and improve lives one patient at a time. With a highly trained team of 13 board certified ophthalmologists and one board eligible physician, including 8 fellowship trained subspecialists and over 250 employees, the practice provides patients with the highest quality eye care possible for Hickory, Lincolnton, Lenoir, Boone, and the surrounding counties. Regardless of where you're being treated by Graystone Eye, you can be certain that your well-being and care is of utmost importance. The practice takes pride in its rich history throughout the region and continues to evolve to offer the best advanced eye care. Sheree Banks Watson has held the position of Chief Executive Officer since the year 2000. She is responsible for overall strategic and operational leadership of the organization. Ms. Watson's education includes a BS in physical therapy from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and an MS in health professions leadership from Georgia State University. She has served on several boards, including the past chair of the NC Board of Physical Therapy Examiners, the past vice president of the NC Physical Therapy Association, and a 5-term member and immediate past chair of the Board of Trustees at the North Carolina Baptist Hospital, Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. She has served on the advisory board for the Division of Physical Therapy at UNC Chapel Hill and is currently on the Business School Advisory Board at Lenoir University. She is a past board member and chair of the Chamber of Catawba County and is an inaugural board member for K64, which is the Innovative Initiative for Education and Workforce Development in Catawba County. She has served as a deacon chair, and a choir member, and on multiple committees at her church, First Baptist of Hickory. She's a native of Burnsville, North Carolina, but she currently lives in Hickory with her husband, Mike, and they are empty nesters to 2 grown children, Lindsay and Michael. So please, thank you, Sheree, for being a part of this. What an honor it is to serve alongside of you and work with you and know you.
My pleasure indeed.
All right, so you heard a little bit about Sheree's professional background, but if you followed our series, our Q&A so far, you know that we like to kick off every interview with what we call a rapid fire Q&A. That's get to know Sheree Watson in 5 minutes or less. So I've got a set of questions that I'm going to fire at Sheree, and we're going to see if we can get to know her a little bit better. Sheree, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. So Sheree, what does it mean to be exceptional?
I think it means creating loyalty beyond reason, creating raving fans.
What's the best thing about Catawba County?
The fortitude and the innovation of our people.
What was your very first job?
Selling concessions at my parents' swimming pool.
No way.
Yeah.
Did you make the concessions like Easy Beck Oven style?
Oh, no. That would have been bad. It was a public pool. We opened it as a public pool. And so it was the only pool in 3 counties. And so people would come to swim. My mom taught, I taught, but as a kid, I was selling ice cream and candy.
Love it. What's one cause that's near and dear to your heart, Sheree?
At this point in my life, it's caring for my mom. Yeah.
What makes you lose track of time?
A great thriller novel.
Nice. What was the last one that you read?
Oh gosh, a thriller novel. It's been a while because I've been reading other things. So, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but
that's what you love to, that's what you get lost in. I like that. All right. If you could jet set anywhere in the world, Sheree, where would you go?
I think it might be Australia.
I'm with you on that one. All right. Your favorite Southern comfort food?
Oh, it's got to be chicken casserole.
The more cream of chicken soup, the better, right?
Exactly.
All right. What is your favorite title that you hold?
Oh, that would be mom.
Mom to Michael and Lindsay.
Yeah, that's right.
If you could have a 15-minute conversation with anyone, who would it be?
I thought about that. I think it would be Brene Brown, who is an author and a researcher that has just done some amazing work. I was introduced to her through Lindsay, and so I've really enjoyed her. So I think I'd like to sit down with her if I could.
Great. Early bird or night owl?
Oh, night owl.
What was the last book you read? So not a thriller novel, but what did you read?
The Hospitable Leader, a book that we put through our organization here.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite go-to self-care tactic?
That would be a massage.
I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you gave a TED Talk, what would the subject be?
Passionate leadership.
Who is one leader that you admire the most?
My dad. Dad.
If you could pick up a new skill in an instant, what would that be?
Learning how to fix things around my house. I'm no good at it. I would love to be able to do that.
Like handyman.
Handyman.
Handywoman.
Oh, yep.
All right. And then describe leadership in one word, Sheree.
Servanthood.
I agree. And you exude that in everything that you do. We do have a comment from Facebook, and this goes right along with what you just said. And it's regarding leadership, Sheree. They said you gave one of the most memorable speeches at the leadership lecture series at LR several years ago. They still remember it to today.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. Thank you.
And I guarantee it had something to do with servant leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So Sheree, transitioning into our interview here, tell us how long have you been with Graystone Eye, and give us a little bit more about your background and what influenced you to join the company.
It's interesting, the timing of this, because in 2 days, I will have been with Graystone for 20 years.
Wow.
I can't believe it. I never envisioned being here this long, but it's been 20 years. And I guess what influenced me to join was I had the pleasure of going to church with Dr. Foster, one of the founders of Graystone, and talking with him and so forth. And I had been traveling in my career at that point in time, and it was time for that traveling to stop. Our children were in middle school, and I just thought I really need to stop this traveling. What can I do? And I'll never forget Dr. Foster, pulling the glasses down on his nose and saying, "Well, is administration what you do now?" Because he knew I was a physical therapist. And I said, "Well, I guess." And he said, "Have you ever thought about running a physician practice?" And I said, "No." He said, "Well, would you be interested in it?" I said, "I don't know." And so really it was so interesting. And they proceeded to talk with me. But what really influenced me to do this was the fact that at that point in time, this organization was about 30 years old, and they had never had a partner leave.
Okay.
That spoke volumes. Spoke volumes to me, that they have figured out how to do something right there, and I could be a part of something like that. So that was the key factor to me in coming here.
Now, Sheree, you mentioned that you would have never envisioned yourself staying for 20 years, being a part of the organization for 20 years. So on the flip side, clearly there's something special about Graystone Eye. What has then made you stay, right?
These physicians predating me had sense enough to know that they went to medical school to learn how to take care of patients. They didn't go to medical school to learn how to run an organization. And they knew that, and they wanted to focus on their patients. And so they have partnered with me to let me develop this organization and develop the environment and the culture. And I've been so blessed for, that they let me do that. And so I thought when I came here, I'll be here 2-3 years and then I'll be bored and I'll want to do something else. But that has not happened. We've just continued the growth and the development. They have supported me to do that, worked together with me, partnered with me to do that. And it's been great. So here I am. They're still stuck with me.
I like it. It sounds like you guys have created an incredible team. So the clinical side, but like you said, like the administration side of ensuring that patients are cared for on both sides, in the rooms, the clinical rooms, but also outside of that. So give us, knowing in 2019, we had the privilege and the honor of helping you guys celebrate your 50th anniversary of being in business. What a milestone that is. Give us the brief history of Graystone Eye.
Okay. Well, the practice was founded in 1969 by Dr. Bill Harris, Dr. Tom Foster, Dr. Hamp Leffler. They came together and formed Graystone, and they had locations, of course, here in Hickory, and then also in Lenoir and in Lincolnton. So they started things off, and then in the mid-90s, early to mid-90s, Dr. Randall Williams joined, Dr. Ann Joslin, Dr. Richard Griffin, Dr. John Tye. All of these folks are now retired and are founding doctors, and they were all comprehensive ophthalmologists, meaning that they would see and take care of anything and everything. But they came to realize that we needed specialists in our practice as well. And so then on came the physicians that we have here now, which I'll talk about, I think, a little bit later. But to develop the specialty aspects, the retina, the glaucoma, the refractive, oculoplastics, all of the different specialties that we have now, and that evolved in the late 90s. And then when I came on board is really when we then began to look at the organization and where we needed to go strategically. We felt like we needed to really diversify and offer all aspects of ophthalmology in the communities that we serve. And so we began that strategic planning journey and developing our facilities and our processes and systems, and getting us really to where we are today, which has been it's been a great journey, a long journey, but gotten us to a good place, I think.
Well,
here's our 50th
yeah,
anniversary. Probably backwards. It may be backwards on here. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Is it?
Not
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Hopefully our viewers on Facebook, it's not backwards. But well, in addition to celebrating 50 years, Sheree, you guys just recently added 40,000 square feet to your facility and did some renovations, but expansion work. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, we built this Hickory building and occupied it in 2008, and it's 52,000 square feet. The initial building was designed by a medical specialty firm, architectural firm out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, who had a division that only designed ophthalmic offices and ophthalmic surgery centers, and they knew what every doctor did, what every technician did, what every piece of equipment was for. They really understood our specialty, and so this building the original building was designed based on that. And so we outgrew it. We knew we would, and so embarked starting 2 years ago on an addition to this building, which it was, as you said, an additional 40,000 square feet. That's put us to over 90,000 square feet in facility. And the new addition incorporated a beautiful comprehensive aesthetics center for aesthetic services and cosmetic surgery, a new refractive, LASIK suite area, additional clinic space, and then we were able to double the size of our surgery center to renovate that and go from 2 operating rooms to a 3rd licensed operating room and a procedure room, as well as enlarged waiting space and laser space and so forth, to really let our patients circulate. So it's really given us the ability to continue our growth. It's the infrastructure that we needed to be able to continue our growth here in Hickory.
That's really impressive. I encourage our viewers, if you've never been to Graystone Eye, you need to go visit. They have quite the campus. And of course, like you said, you've diversified services. And so I encourage you to really check it out. Very, very, very impressive space. But talking about leadership, this is something that I know you're passionate about, Sheree. Tell me a little bit about your leadership philosophy and the leadership philosophy at Graystone Eye. And how's it different?
Yeah. I think it's different because it is based, like I said, up in the rapid fire about describing leadership. I am passionate about servanthood philosophy of leadership, and I've always said if people would understand upside down organizational charts, that is what I would draw. Mm-hmm. The patient would be at the top, and that's what we do have on our organizational chart. But the people next would be those that touch the patient, not necessarily physically, but that touch that patient and impact that patient. The supervisors and the me are at the very bottom. You know, my job is to be a servant. My job is to get obstacles out of my staff's way so they can turn around and get obstacles out of their way to take great care of our patients. So everything that we've done in these 20 years as we've developed has been based upon the philosophy of serving. Everyone here is a servant, to serve our patients, to serve our physicians, to serve our families, to serve each other. It's all about being a servant, and that's the philosophy that we've built on and that I am passionate about.
What a lesson for those that are watching. The majority of people that watch these interviews are business owners, and I think doing the exercise of flipping your organizational chart upside down and then asking yourself the hard questions of, are we truly customer focused? Are we truly patient focused? I think is something that we all should do. And we should look at our processes and our procedures and everything we do from the eyes or the lens of our customer. And what a great takeaway. So how does that contribute then to your culture there at Graystone?
Well, it is the foundation. It really is. And so that culture has been built on, you know, clinical excellence. That's a given. You know, we have to have clinical excellence, but then the focus on the patient experience. And that's what really will set us aside, I think, is, you know, you got to have clinical excellence in any healthcare setting, wherever you are. But I think what will make us different is that focus on the patient experience and the effort that we put into it to train our people and to put that out there. And we really do that from the beginning when we hire people, because we have learned we can teach them technical skills, we can teach them testing skills, we can teach them all those things, but we can't teach them how to care. We just can't teach that. They've got to bring a servant heart with them that they are genuine about, and that they really want to be a part of a culture like this. And so it starts really with our hiring and our screening, first and foremost, of who the person is, and then the skills and all the technical pieces that, you know, that have to come. So we've worked on that culture from that foundation of serving through to who we hire, and then tried to build it, you know, from that point up, if you will.
I think that's, again, something that we can all take away is surrounding ourselves and filling our teams with people who truly understand why they do what they do. You know, delivering a product or delivering a service or delivering whatever widget, if you will, but what is really at the core and what really drives someone to show up to work every day. And I think that's something that we all need to identify in ourselves, but really asking those questions from the beginning to ensure that our team puts first things first and understand.
And I tell our employees in orientation, I tell them, if you're only here for a paycheck, I really don't want you to work here. It doesn't mean I don't like you, but I want more than that. I want you to be excited to get up in the morning and come in here. You may be the only conversation that little gentleman has all day. You may be the only smile that little lady receives all day. And at the end of your day, I want you to be able to look back and go, I made a difference today. I made a difference in the lives of people. And then you go home and you live your life and you enjoy your kids and you do your thing, and then be excited to get up and come back and do it again the next day. That's what we ask of our employees here.
That's awesome, Sheree. You know, we have another comment from Facebook, and this is the perfect segue into what I want to go into next. And, you know, what I mentioned before as I introduced you is your servanthood leadership style, and you really have created that culture in your team. We have the privilege of working with various layers of leaders on your team, and we see that because we see their care also in the community. You guys certainly, like I said, your tentacles reach out beyond your patients and beyond your 90,000 square foot facility. But this person on Facebook said, your firm has made Catawba County a better place to live. And so viewer comment, servanthood, culture, leadership, and relationships with a heart. Like how that's incredible that we have viewers that are saying these things about Graystone. And so talk a little bit then about how obviously it's a part of who you are as an organization. It's a core value of your company. How then does that translate into the community, your community work, but also your international work, which I know you guys do?
Right. Well, we've always felt like we want to be a wonderful corporate citizen in whatever community that we serve. And so, that's a community focus the doctors have, and that we have, but the culture, supports it. We have developed an employee engagement group called the Focus Group, finding original, creative, unique solutions, the Focus Group. And so our employees that want to participate in that, they join that. They provide internal feedback to us, but then they also drive things that we're involved in out in the community. They will look at our different areas that we serve and things that our employees are involved in and are passionate about, causes that they feel are important. And so that takes us out into the community by way of our employees, as well. So that's something that we're very proud of. As far as our international work and local work, we do two things. We do something called Mission Cataract every year locally, where we provide free surgery for folks who do not have the means to receive it otherwise, and an effort to have their sight returned to them. So that's something we do locally every year. And then we participate in a mission in Montero, Bolivia. Virtually, I think we've been every year. It was started by one of our retired physicians, Dr. Richard Griffin, many, many years ago. And so for 2 weeks in the summer, we will have physicians and staff go down and provide surgery to folks in that region that are literally blind from cataracts. The cataract is white or black. It's so hard they can't see. And so, these people go into an operating room and they come out seeing. It's just incredible. And our physicians and our staff are so committed to that. It's been life-changing for so many of our people. So that's something that we do almost every year. There's an occasional year that we're not able to do it, but we do it almost every year. And we committed to Dr. Griffin that we would try to carry that legacy on that he created.
What an incredible legacy. What an incredible legacy. So, Sheree, we've talked a lot about this. Being exceptional has been woven through our entire conversation, but talk to me a little bit about how you see that Graystone Eye operates and leads exceptionally in this community.
I think it does go back to a little bit of what we talked about, that it's the understanding of the importance of the patient experience and the employee experience and the family experience. It takes it all. I mean, it really takes it all. If our employees are happy and they're satisfied and they enjoy what they do, that experience is carried forward to that patient. Our physicians provide excellent care. That clinical outcome is there. And so then that patient leaves here with what he or she needed in results and knowing that they were cared for. And then they go out and tell their friends that this is the place that you need to receive eye care and aesthetic services and refractive surgeries, optical, et cetera, all of that. And everyone wins. I mean, it's just a win-win-win, really, all the way around. So I think what distinguishes us is that understanding, and then committing to building our culture and our foundation upon that. I think that's how exceptional happens.
Well, you've alluded to the diverse service lines that you offer. You have 13 board certified ophthalmologists, 8 fellowship trained subspecialists, in addition to 250 employees there at Graystone. Tell us a little bit more about your physicians that you guys have on your team.
Okay, well, I have to look at my notes because I'll mess this up.
That's okay.
If I don't. I'll tell you just quickly the names of our physicians, the number of years that they've been here, their specialty, and a little something about them outside of medicine. How about that?
I like it.
So Dr. Reg Williams has been with us for 25 years. He is a retina specialist, and he races Porsche Cup cars. So I tell him, please come back in one piece when he does that. Dr. James Harris has been with us 22 years. He is a glaucoma specialist, and he came to us from the Navy. He was a flight surgeon in the Navy. So some great experiences there. Dr. Trey Ausler has been with us 21 years. He is our refractive specialist, LASIK, all the different, advanced lenses. And he is the drummer for the 2020 rock band. My doctors have lots of talents.
Yes, they do.
Dr. Rich Chang is a cornea specialist, and he used to be the director of the North Carolina Eye Bank, and so he had far-reaching impact in that realm. Dr. Brian Adair has been with us. Chang's 15 years. Dr. Brian Adair's 14 years been with us. He is a comprehensive ophthalmologist, and he is a guitarist for the 2020 rock band. Dr. Roderick Hargrove has been with us 13 years. He is an oculofacial reconstructive specialist, and he's one of the biggest Tar Heel fans that you will ever find, and he and I commiserate on a regular basis about that.
Yes.
Dr. Patrick Kelty has been with us 11 years. He is a retina specialist, and he used to be a teacher. I believe it was middle school. I think I have that right. And so, we figure, if he can teach middle school, he can do anything. But he did that prior to becoming a physician. Dr. Gabriella DeBoer has been with us for 4 years. She is a comprehensive ophthalmologist, and she just had a precious little boy about 4 months ago. He is darling, and so she's entering into that phase of life as she continues to practice medicine.
How wonderful. Wow.
Yeah, Dr. Chris Tansey has been with us for 3 years. He is a comprehensive ophthalmologist, and he is an accomplished clarinetist, very talented, played in orchestras and so forth.
Wow.
Dr. Peter Lipscomb is been with us 3 years. He's a comprehensive ophthalmologist, loves to fly fish, and he was a member of the UNC Clefhangers a cappella group. We have got great musician talent in this crowd. And Dr. Harris sings too. I didn't tell you that part. So they're amazing. Dr. Ryan Wise has been with us for 2 years. He is a glaucoma specialist. He worked as a computer network engineer before he went into medicine. So he comes from an amazing background, and he can help us on the technical side a lot. Dr. Janelle Jackson has been with us 2 years. She is an oculofacial reconstructive specialist, and she loves to work out. She is just committed and fit, and is an example for all of us of how that ought to happen. Dr. Josh Pascal has been with us 1 year. He is a comprehensive ophthalmologist. He is just a major family guy, loves to hike and fish and be outdoors with his family. And then finally, Dr. Jennifer Lira has been with us 1 year. She is a comprehensive ophthalmologist, and she is a major nature enthusiast, backpacking, camping. She's just done some remarkable things out in the wild. And so that's a little bit about our doctors and who they are and how long they've been with us.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Sheree, if you'd add up the number of years of experience, we don't have to do that on the top of your head, but
yeah,
it's a lot. And if also too, it's an inspiration for all of us that we can work super hard and be exceptional in what we do during the day, but we should take time for self-care and hobbies and exploring other aspects. What an incredible team. Thanks
they're amazing. Yeah, they're amazing.
They really are.
They can do. I just tell them, please don't quit your day job to go, tour with a rock band or race cars or whatever. But they really are amazing.
That's great. Well, of course, there's this thing called a pandemic that's happening right now. Yeah. We've been in this disruption for several months now, and of course, it's definitely impacted Graystone Eye. Public mandates have caused you guys to close, if not do things very differently for a period of time. So talk to me a little bit about that. How, not only how did it impact you, but how have you guys then navigated and reinvented yourself in order to continue to serve your patients?
Well, it has been something. It is. There's no one that has been spared from this. And so I almost describe this for us in phases. The first phase was we had to figure out how to close everything down except for urgent and emergent services. And so we had to define what that would be, and then how we do that and so forth. So basically we kept the Hickory office open with a retina doctor here every day and an on-call doctor here every day. And otherwise, pretty well, closed it down. We had our surgery center function half a day, a couple of times a week for emergency surgery. We had our Boone physician go in about a half a day, a time or two a week in Boone, because it's just so far away to deal with problems and so forth, and then closed our Lincolnton and Lenore offices. So it was a massive undertaking by our leadership team to get all of that, trimmed down and shut down and so forth. So then during that time and immediately following that time, our biggest concern was, how do we take care of our employees? We've got to take care of our employees. They're amazing, and we wanted them to be okay during all of this. And so we mapped out all of the things to do that, to guide them with information that they needed, to communicate with them regularly. Obviously, when you have 2 doctors here instead of 14, you don't need everybody working. And so, we tried to navigate that in ways that would work best for them and for their families, and have them able to come back to us when the time came. So that's kind of what I call the end of the first phase and then the second phase. Then the third phase was figuring out how to do telemedicine in ophthalmology. It's much more difficult in this specialty, I think, than it is in other kinds of specialties. So we did offer it, and we did do it some to the point that we could. And then by that point, it was time to start figuring out how to open back up again. Mm-hmm. And so then we had to start looking at, how are we going to reinvent everything that we do, because we knew this thing is not going away anytime soon, and so I had kind of landed at the place that we have got to learn how to live our lives and do what we do and do our businesses and learn how to do it safely. Mm-hmm. And so we completely reinvented every process, every system, everything that we do in a 2-week period of time, so that we could open back up and have patients feel comfortable to come back in here and to be taken care of. So everything from remote check-in at home, to texting in the parking lot, to screeners at the door, families staying out of the facilities, distancing all of the seating, distancing the care halls, spreading everything out, and our facility allowed us to be able to do that. All of these steps, requiring masks, all the things to try to have our staff safe, our doctors and staff safe, and our patients to know that we're doing everything we can, cleaning between every patient, every exam room, every time, just these kind of things. So we really completely redid everything that we do, and so far we've been so blessed. I mean, it's gone really, really well, considering we didn't know what we were doing. We were just trying to get started.
Well, you bring up a good point in operating in a new normal. We're all having to do that, and I think if any business feels like they're going to be able to operate like they did pre-COVID-19, I think they're sorely mistaken. And truly, just to translate the very fact that you care, right? That you care about your customers and your employees' well-being. We've all got to change, and we all have to adapt and move forward. So thinking of moving forward, what's your vision for Graystone Eye in the coming years?
Well, I think, we've spent these 20 years I've been here really getting our infrastructure to state of the art. I built 4 buildings since I've been here, and our equipment and our processes and our systems, and we've tried to position ourselves so that we've got a fairly large footprint. We're pretty much the ophthalmic presence in about 10 counties, and pretty well handle all the way up 321 corridor from Lincolnton all the way up into the mountains. And so we've defined our service area, I think pretty well. And so we've got our infrastructure in place. The delivery of healthcare still continues to be up in the air. How's it going to be delivered? How's it going to be paid for? How's it going to be received? All of that. So we've tried to position ourselves such that we can flex and bend and move as that changes. And so what I see for us going forward is, continued development of the diversification of services that we have, continued development of the excellence, the organic growth that is possible for us. It's incredible, the need that's out there, so we will just, I don't know that we will open other locations or, do things like that, but we have tremendous opportunity to serve our communities, even better and more fully than we have. And so we feel like that we've got a lot of work to do to grow into this infrastructure that we've created, really.
Well, Sheree, in closing, what's the first thing that you want someone to notice whenever they walk into any Graystone location?
A great big smile.
Mm.
And now they got to see it in the eyes, because
Yes.
they can see it. One of the best masks I've seen, one of our patient representatives ordered a mask that had her smile on the mask.
No.
And so she had the mask on and it looked like her smiling. And it was great.
I've got to get one of those. I've got to get one of those.
But that's the first thing I want people to see, is a warm, welcoming smile, so that they know they are important to us. They are why we are here, and that we are glad to see them.
Well, Sheree, I want to thank you so much for your wisdom and your insight you shared with our viewers today. Those that are watching, if you're just now tuning in, we're at the tail end of this interview, but you're seeing Sheree Watson is the CEO of Graystone Eye. I hope that you'll go back and watch the recording once it's posted. We talk about everything from servant leadership to flipping your organizational charts for patient first focus, to creating a focus group. And they literally call theirs a focus group, to put employees in charge of what are some things you want to get involved in your community, and what are some engagement things that you can do within the entity. I hope that you go back and watch this, because it's full of just good insight and good expertise and knowledge, and leadership advice from Sheree Watson. So again, Sheree, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to put you in the hot seat today and to learn from you. I want to thank again J. Brown Realtors for being our sponsor of today's Q&A and the Exceptional Series. If you really enjoyed this interview today, I hope that you'll continue to follow along with us. Our next interview is July the 9th. I have the privilege of interviewing Mark Hughes, who is a pharmacist, and he's with Franny's Pharmacy. So we're going to learn about CBD and the hemp industry in North Carolina. And so I hope that you will tune in. And again, that's on July the 9th. So again, please watch the recording, press share, comment, give Sheree some likes and hearts and wow faces, so that we can make sure that Facebook likes us and more people can see this video that really need to see it. So again, thanks for tuning in, and we will now sign off.